Welcome, real people, real conversations. This is your host, Lori, speaking. Let's get this conversation started. Okay, so let's just get started here with a conversation. I have Donna on the line. The topic today is immigration. Obviously, the wall, open borders, and just what regular people are feeling about this, sitting at home listening to the news every day. Democrats don't seem to want to budge as far as giving the president money for the wall. Is this being done purposely? Do they really want open borders? Is anyone even talking about risk for people that are coming here? Nobody seems to ever bring up the families that lost children to illegal immigrants, and especially ones that have been deported at least 2 to 3 times. And I think we all know about this. So let's just see what Donna has to say. I have her on the line now. She's pretty vocal on this topic. So if anybody does have any opposing views, you're more than welcome. After we're done with this conversation, you can reach out to me at americasvoicetoday@gmail.com, or if anybody would like to add with it. But we're going to start with Donna today. How you doing, Donna?
Very good. Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome. So, you're watching the news like everybody else is, and you're seeing Democrats are blaming the president because now we have a shutdown, and there are people that aren't getting paychecks. So there's that one issue where if you watch most channels, you'll just keep hearing about the issue where people aren't getting paychecks because the president is not opening the government because of the shutdown. And then the other opposing view, as far as what the president says, is he feels that this is something that he needs to take a stand on because the Democrats are not willing to work with him. And he has tried before in the past, and now here we are today. So what do you think when you're watching the news and hearing different things?
Well, Lori, I feel illegal immigration is fundamentally an issue of law violation. Our sovereign right to regulate who is legally admitted into the country is being massively undermined by illegal entry and refusal to leave at the end of an authorized stay. And we just keep on racking it up more and more. It's a law violation.
Well, what about, I know that we do have an immigration problem with people that are visiting the United States of America and they overstay visas and don't leave. That's, I think, a totally different issue. That's something that has to be dealt with. But what about as far as coming over the borders? Like the whole entry is illegal.
The illegal is illegal. To me, illegal immigration is illegal immigration.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, and based on the Federation for American Immigration Reform,
right?
It was estimated that illegal aliens in Pennsylvania alone was 125,000 to 150,000 persons. That's Pennsylvania alone.
Right.
I mean, the federal government in 2000 said it was 49,000. It just shows you, regardless of who's doing the estimate by the trend,
right?
It's very clear that the numbers are driving up so high, and our economy cannot sustain it.
Okay, that's another issue. Yes.
Yes, education of children, of illegal aliens in the public schools, cost in the state of Pennsylvania alone $230 million annually. That's in Pennsylvania alone. Emergency medical expenditures, incarcerations, the cost estimate to be $285 million per year as of 2006.
Okay, so getting back to the standoff, what's happening right now, what do you feel about this? Do you think this is being done, because you're saying statistics, and do you feel that then this is being done purposely to the president? Because everyone obviously knows the statistics that you just read off.
Yes. Well, I feel like unless you live under a rock and have no access to anything, and you have no clue, you have to know that the Democrats were all, there's not a ventriloquist speaking for them. It's on, they're up there, and they're saying how the importance of having a wall is. Chuck Schumer many times stressed how important it was, and how important it was not to call them undocumented. They were illegals. That's what they should be called. They're illegals. Now they flip-flop and they change their tune. And there's only one reason. We all know what their reason is. It's because they want to show that Trump is not fulfilling what he made the promise to the people who elected him to do.
Okay, so that's my point. So you do feel that this is being done purposely?
It is being done purposely. It's not even a matter of how I feel, how you feel, how the other side feels. It's in black and white. Turn on a YouTube video and watch them news clips of them speaking back when Obama was in office, and they're saying it blatantly how important it is. Now they're singing a different tune. I feel, honestly, if President Trump said the air is very important for us all to breathe, and everybody must make sure that they breathe, there'll be a lot of Democrats that are dying of suffocation.
That's a good point.
It's sad though, Lori. I feel that this wall isn't a Democrat, liberal, Republican, conservative issue. It's an American issue. It's an issue for American citizens that care about their country. It's people are coming over. Our kids are being killed. Our family members are being killed.
Do you notice that? But can I say something to you? Do you notice that you do not hear on the news about those families that are affected? Then it's not even brought up. What about those families?
No, it's not brought up. It's not brought up. How about this? All the bleeding hearts out there that are listening to the show, that are so worried about these illegal aliens and their families being torn apart. Okay? You're worried about them and this is not right. Okay, how about this? How about all of our veterans that are lacing the streets because they're homeless and they have nowhere to go? They don't have the government setting up a shelter there with a tent and making sure everybody has beds and medical treatment and food.
I know.
No, actually what's happening in California and these places is they have a cleanup crew. And they're coming and they're taking shovels and they're taking all their belongings and throwing it out because they say that it's biohazard. And they're throwing out some of these people's birth certificates and everything because it doesn't look good on the street.
I know.
They're so worried about how it looks on the street, right? They're so worried about these illegal aliens. Sure, build a wall and take care of your own. Because, you have to take care of yourself before you take care of others. Even when you get on a plane, what do they say? You put the air mask if something happens on yourself, and then if you're traveling with a child or somebody who can't take care of themselves, then you give it to them. Because if you die, you're no good to anyone.
Do you wonder if right? Do you wonder if other Americans are thinking like that? That we live here in the United States of America, and you could turn on any news station on any given day, and the topic is illegal aliens. There's nothing being discussed about America and American poverty and American illness. I mean, we could go on and on, like you said,
Absolutely.
veterans. Homeless.
Absolutely.
Men are. I see so many men and these old ladies too, pushing their wagons with bottles, and I'm thinking, oh dear Lord, how did this even happen? But so I'm looking around, saying we do have epidemics right here in America, and I think sometimes when I'm watching the news, I wonder if other people are watching the news thinking the same thing that I'm thinking.
Well, Laura, I have a group, and that's. We are America United, and it's a whole group of people, hundreds, and that's what we discussed, and that's how we feel. So yeah, and this 9 is not the only one.
Right.
There are so many Americans that feel the same way, but unfortunately, the mass media has the ear of everyone. They're on the news.
I know.
I have a station here in Florida. It's called One America News Network.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can get that online, and I think there's an app for it for your phone. But to turn on your TV and see it anywhere, you don't. You don't.
Right,
Why?
right.
Because they don't. There are cable companies that won't carry it.
Right.
Even Fox News is turning.
It's scary, and there really is no station for regular, everyday American people. It's like they're not even interested in our voices. They're really not, and that was the whole reason why I decided to come up with this. Because where could you go and speak and just tell what you feel, maybe a neighborhood of people? I just feel like we just get so overlooked.
It's so true, Lori.
I see mostly politicians on TV. They're getting interviewed. What's their opinion, on how they think the wall doesn't work. The other politician thinks the wall is going to work. Then you see someone that works physically at the wall, and that's what he does, border security, and nobody's listening to this poor man. And I'm saying they just lost the whole point because you had a Democrat and a Republican going against each other. This poor man that works right on the border, and they lost his whole point, what he was trying to make and what he was trying to say. And I'm just thinking, this is what's happening. So whatever news channel you turn on, this is what it became about. They'll have a Republican and a Democrat, and they'll go back and forth with views. Okay, and the next day it's the same thing. Just a new Republican, a new Democrat. And people that is just sitting home saying, what is going on with the government? They can't even get it together. They hate the president that much. They just want this country to go down. There's just so many deeper things that when I'm watching the news, it's scary. It's very scary. And then there's regular everyday people that are watching this news and wondering, are they getting scared too? What the heck is going on here? And there's no interest in our voices anymore. But if you're anybody in Hollywood, yes, you'll get an interview and you could sell your view of the world and talk about all these countries that we need to help. And I think, wow, they live in Florida. They're passing Los Angeles. They're seeing the homeless on the street. They have blinders on. They don't even want to talk about that.
Oh, they're the ones complaining and they want the streets cleaned up. They're the ones who want the streets cleaned up. Listen, my husband works in the construction field in Florida. Mm-hmm. And if anybody's seen what immigration has done, it's him. Because first they said, well, they're doing jobs nobody wants to do. They're doing jobs Americans don't want to do. Well, that is not true. My husband's field, which is the elevator field, is the last holdout in the construction business. You're talking some, nice jobs, nice union jobs.
Right.
With pensions and everything. My husband has to go to these jobs with spray paint and draw pictures because none of them speak English. These are jobs that Americans once held.
So are you saying that they're illegals? They're hiring illegals in these unions? They're going there with fake names, I'm assuming then?
I don't know what they're going with. But if you're getting in here and you have all these people and none of them speak English, and you're on a construction site.
Right.
Okay, I didn't go and question each person but let's face it, and this is not racism, when you're going on a job site and every single one of them are speaking Spanish, and when you're trying to tell them something they don't understand, okay, not one of them, and this is a kind of construction site that if you don't know what safety is or what to do, you could get killed.
Right.
You need to know what look out means. Move. Don't do this.
Right.
My husband has to draw with spray paint pictures for these people.
Well, see, that
now,
goes
my husband
into...
used to work in that. What they're doing, my husband used to work in that.
Right, but see, that's going into even just a whole nother issue because there's also, if you walk in...
said initially, Lori, that they're doing jobs that nobody wants to do. Well, guess what? There's a bunch of guys willing and able that are waiting in the union halls to be called for a job, but they can't. They're not getting called.
So do you think because they're immigrants, they want to hire them first?
I definitely believe that. Yes.
Well, because I will tell you something.
Driving down wages.
Okay, and if they do, because this can go into another topic. See, there is something too where if you go into Walmart in my area, there's so many Spanish speaking cashiers. So there's no communication. I can't speak to the girl. She can't speak to me. But if you, as an American citizen, and you're American and you speak English, do you know you can go for a job and be told, no, we're looking for somebody that's, like, you have to speak Spanish for them to hire you. But the woman that only speaks Spanish, so that's discrimination. That's why they have to hire her.
Absolutely.
So there's that's what I'm saying. This is such a deeper conversation.
You could talk about illegal immigration, and it affects every aspect of our lives.
Right.
It affects our children in school, them learning, because the teacher can't teach properly because the child in that classroom don't speak English. So now your son or daughter is forced to sit and wait until she can figure out how to explain it to them.
Right.
Because they don't speak English.
Right.
It's wrong. Listen, my grandparents came here from Spain to Cuba and here. My grandfather was the proudest man I've ever met in my life. And he assimilated. He learned the language, as broken as it was. He learned the language. He did the American thing. He didn't come here trying to push his views and the way he felt on this country. He wanted to be here because he wanted to be in this country and have this country be what it is. So,
fast forwarding this, because I think that this could go on and on. What would you say that you think is going to happen or you think should happen with the whole immigration? Do you think that the president's going to cave? Do you feel he's going to stick to his guns? Because I don't see the Democrats caving at all. I really don't. I don't know and that makes me nervous too, that we're even at a standstill with this. As far as like the president, the Democratic Party, it's scary. It's very scary. What the heck is going to happen? And I know that you're listening on the news again. There's 2 more caravans that are forming. So I'm just wondering, what the heck the outcome is going to be with this. And it just, that scares me more. If someone does come here legally, yes, of course the language barrier, I would think that they're going to learn how to speak English, because that's what would happen if I went to another country. So that's like another issue. But when they're coming in droves illegally and everyone's trying to scramble and try to accommodate me,
Lori?
That's when there's a problem.
Isn't it something how they come into this country in droves, they fight, they vandalize, they destroy things through their way. They climb these high fences and they go over all these barriers in these places that it's hard to live. I mean, there's nothing right. They're going through this hard terrain.
Right.
And yet they can't stay in their country and fight their government to make their country beautiful
and better.
Why don't they be men and stay and fight instead of running like little sissies? Make your country a good country. Make your country great again. Stop running away. Stand there and fight.
Right.
Fight for your country. That's what we do. That's why our country is the way it is.
So what are you hoping is the outcome of this whole shutdown?
I have total faith in our president.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I voted for him, and I'll vote for him again. I have total faith in him. I'm not worried. I know that he will follow through in his promises
and figure out a way.
Figure out a way. He can. He can. Right. He can do an executive order, like Obama has done so many times with so many things. It was almost every day you heard about an executive order.
Okay, so that's how we're going to end this. So you pretty much feel that in the end, the president's going to come through. There'll be more border security. The wall will be built.
Yeah, the wall will be built. But my concern about the wall being built, one thing, I hope the president doesn't build the wall the way the Democrats want it, with a steel wall. I would hope that he would do a reinforced concrete with rebar, because I feel that would be more of a strong structure. Because let's face it, if the Democrats are saying build a steel wall, they don't want it to last.
Well, before we end this conversation, do you think the Democrats have a motive of why they want the illegals to come here in the United States?
Yes.
Just give me a quick answer on that.
Most of the citizens aren't even voting for them anymore. The citizens aren't. Most American citizens are not voting for them anymore. That's why they're trying to make it legal for the illegals to vote, or non-citizens to vote. They are a party of discourse and just mayhem.
All right. Thank you, Donna, so much. I think you really pointed out good points. And this is a conversation that definitely could continue. So I would love to have you back on here at another time.
Sure.
And even just go into immigration in general, coming into the country. And because I thought you made a couple of good points, even just the language barrier. Like, I thought that to become a citizen, you had to learn to speak English. Maybe I'm wrong. I want to look that up. But that does that poses a whole nother issue.
Congress was supposed to be fighting for us, to protect us and to serve us. That's what I thought. Well, I thought that they were supposed to be seeing any kind of threats and protect us. But you and I, what do we know?
It's right. So this is my whole point: is regular people having regular conversations, real people having real conversations. So I'm sure there are other people that are having table talk at their house too, and I would love to know what they're saying to each other. But so again, if anybody wants to add to this conversation that Donna and I just had, I'm sure there is opposing views, and I'm sure there are people that can add to this conversation because we couldn't cover everything. But again, thank you very much for coming on, and we'll talk soon because I have this feeling you're going to be back on. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lori.